face your Manhattan Indians. Here are the starters for tonight's game in alternating order. First with the Blue Aces, a 5'7" sophomore, number 1, Talia Lucas. And for the Indians, a 5'6" senior, number 1, Delaney Larson. For the Blue Aces, a 5'4" senior, number 2, Quincy Gallo. And for the Indians, a 5'10" junior, number 4, Yelena Tepeswar. For the Blue Aces, a 6'2" freshman, number 3, Jada Davis. And for the Indians, a 5'3" senior, number 13, Kat Hall. For the Blue Aces, a 6' senior, number 22, Anari Smith. And for the Indians, a 5'7" junior, number 15, Bailey Bush. Blue Aces, a 6' freshman, number 35, Maya Resquez. And for the Indians, a 5'9" sophomore, number 33, Debbie Banks. Head coach for Wichita-East is Willie Davis. Head coach for your Indians is Scott Hall. Officials for tonight's game are Kevin Downing, Rick Ulbrich, and Kurt Losey.
All right, welcome to the North Gym at Manhattan High School, where tonight the Manhattan Indians will go to battle with the Wichita-East Blue Aces to decide who advances to the state tournament and whose season comes to an end in the sub-state finals. Two teams, identical 19-5 records, and both teams are coming off 4 straight wins, and it's East that wins the tip-off.
Wichita has 2 of some of the best freshmen at the varsity level.
This is out of bounds on East. MHS getting the ball early on a good defensive stand.
Jada Davis, who just had the turnover, is a freshman who averages 15 points a game along with 4 steals. She's going to be a player to watch tonight for the Wichita.
Larson rolls to her right, looking for someone to pass to. That's Banks. Now Bush has it, and some bad passes there by the Indians. Gives East the ball here. Scores 0-0, 7:22 left in the first quarter. In and out for East. Rebound Wichita East. Now deciding to drive. Shot from the key by Lucas. Off the rim, out of bounds, Indians ball.
Yeah, you cannot leave Lucas alone on the perimeter. She's the secondary scoring threat that really opens up the floor on the offensive side for Wichita East. And Manhattan's going to have to really have strong closeouts tonight to limit those looks.
Here in the sub-state finals, there are no safety nets as that rolls out of bounds from ball. It'll be East that picks it up, and Tylea Lucas now inbounds it over to her teammate Jada Davis. We're only a minute into this game, which should be a barn burner. The 4-seeded Indians versus the 5-seeded Wichita East Blue Aces.
Yeah, Jada Davis, you saw her take it to the rim, and she will create for her teammates a lot of open looks due to Manhattan players over-helping a lot.
Indians struggling to connect early on offense with some missed passes. That swishes through for the first points of the game. 3-0 is the lead for Wichita East. 6:17 left in the first quarter.
Thank you.
Here's Larson to inbound it here to Ball. Banks has it near the corner, now gives it to Bush. She drives in on a rim run, and she's fouled in the paint. Misses the shot, but now will go to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, a lot of cuts opened up a lot of space in a lane for Bailey Bush to drive. The help defense for Wichita East needs to improve a lot. They shifted too much ball side on that possession.
First shot goes in for Bush. Bailey Bush makes the second as well. Score 3-2. Indians trailing by that 1 point currently.
A little bit of a bailout. The refs may have missed the backcourt, but they call
Big time press for the Indians, and it pays off as Wichita East decides to take a timeout. Ivan.
I thought, at least from our view up here, that it was a pretty clear backcourt call, and it looks like the fans, the parent section, really wanted it. But again, forces Wichita East into a timeout. First energetic defensive possession, really all of tonight so far for the Indians. And they're really going to have to step up to stop that 2 freshman attack in Davis.
Both of these teams played in the first round of Sub-State on Tuesday. Manhattan defeated Free State 67-21, and Wichita East defeated Dodge City 68-15.
Going to that Wichita East 68-15 win against Dodge City. Their defensive strength in that game to allow one of the lower teams in the sub-state, but still a decently offensive team, to score 15 points in a full game. That shows the capability this Wichita East defensive front has.
Near steal for East. Lots of fumbling around. Now Bush drives in, and she's fouled. It looks like she'll be fouled inside the paint. So this will be the second time this game that she goes to the line. She's accounted for the only 2 points the Indians have scored in this 3-2 game so far.
Quincy Albert got a little too ambitious on that challenge. She brought her hands down way too much and still wasn't pleased with the call.
The first shot spilled out of the cup. This one goes straight through. 5:20 here in the first quarter. That floater's a miss. It's a rebound by East and a foul on the play.
Mia Respress, the freshman, another big body for this Wichita East squad. Is just going to be a big problem for Manhattan tonight on the glass. They're going to really have to box out well and force her out of the paint and not let her get position.
Under 5 minutes left in the first quarter. And there is the second score of the game for East, who now leads 5-3. The deep shot from Larson doesn't pay off. Bush has it. Evie Banks gets blocked. East ball. A spin move is breaking into, and a steal as ball is blocked on the other end but fouled.
Just good energy and transition for Manhattan, coast to coast. That's what they're going to need to do this game. Wichita East isn't a very great transition defense team, so Manhattan's going to really have to take advantage of that tonight.
Yeah, the Indians have not made a field goal in this game, but if Ball makes both of these free throws, the game will be tied 5-5. So the first shot is sunk by Ball. So the Indians down to a 1-point deficit. And now it's knotted up at 5. 2 free throws by Ball and 3 free throws by Bush have been the score for the Indians so far. As a deep corner shot, that's the second three-pointer made by the East team today.
And Manhattan showed a 2-1-2 press, and then when they trapped the weak side, got wide open.
Missed
for an
shot
open
by
look.
Banks. Bush gets it back for the rebound. Ball drives in. The shot's off the mark. Yelena cleans it up and scores. Oh, man. It's been a driving game. And MHS is going to have the ball, Ivan. Wait, no, they're not. It's actually East. Rest Press has 2 shots now after being fouled. Ansley Beckett subs in for Deperjois.
Mia Respris for Wichita East is almost averaging a double-double every game with 12.6 points and about 8 rebounds. She will dominate the paint with incredible efficiency every night. So again, on the glass, she's really going to have to, or Manhattan's really going to have to box out really well.
Indians trailing 7-8. Ball saves it. She now drives in. And Banks. Man. Some decent looks, but no score on that drive for the Indians. Indians crowd wants a travel. .3:13 left in the first quarter. Knocked out by Beckett. It'll be a jump ball. And the jump ball will have the Indians retaining possession.
If I'm Coach Maul on this possession, I would throw a few people in the baseline, just interchanging constantly, because this Wichita East defense has had a little bit of trouble communicating on those screens.
Banks gets at the ball, pops it from deep, no good. These teams are on paper very close. A very good match today as Larson on a rim run gets blocked. So it was knocked out
Amaya Cakes,
of
another
Larson's hands.
freshman on this Wichita East team that has really made a big impact early tonight.
And the whistle was blow as Larson took too much time on that inbound, Ivan.
There was just no safety on the play. Every inbound should be built to where one player pops out the three-point line. And now I believe Bailey Bush did pop out, but they're going to have to really exaggerate that if they're going to get the ball in and avoid another turnover.
Under 2:30 left in this first quarter. It's been intense. 1 point lead for the East. And what did you see there? I see Ingram coming in for Larson. Inbound East, and it pops straight into the hands of Ball. She takes it to the other side and is right on the money for the layup.
That full fast break, she was under control, got on 2 feet and went up strong. And it forces Wichita East to another turnover to Manhattan. So momentum a little bit on Manhattan's side.
So the possession arrow was on the side of East. So Quinancy Galberts is going to get to inbound it here with 2:04 left in quarter one. Indians with a 1 point lead. Bush with aggressive defense, gets too handsy. And now it looks like Cates was the one that was fouled. And Lucas will get to inbound it here for East. 2:02 left in quarter one. Indians up 1. And Bailey Bush gets it. Sends it the Indians' way. It's a foot race and a near score. And this has been a familiar thing. Bush is going to go to the line for the 3rd time this game. She's 3 for 4 so far from the charity stripe.
Yeah, she had good defensive gap discipline on the last play to get the steal. She wasn't too ambitious in the gaps. Able to stay strong in that open space and close it down, and just able to get their hand on the ball with a good steal.
Bush makes both shots. She's in a great 5 for 6. .125 left in quarter one. A 3 shot is an air ball. Indians get the ball. Ingram has it. Pass the ball. Joran Hall has it. Gets it knocked out. Cates takes it the other way, and it rolls out. Last touch by the Indians.
Yeah, in the paint, one thing you never want to do is turn your back to the ball. Firstly, because of the help defense is right there to just scoop the ball, as Wichita-East just did there. And secondly, you're not really a scoring threat once you turn your back in the high post area.
So another foul. Bush's 2nd foul of the day here in just the first quarter.
At the line for Blue Aces, Jada Davis.
Davis from the line. Larson and Banks come in the game for the Indians. So it's Banks, Larson, Beckett, Ingram, and Joran Hall on the floor for the Tribe. Shot off the mark. Indians still with a 2-point lead, 10-8. Now under a minute left in the first quarter. Larson gets blocked as she's in pursuit of that basket. Delaney gets to inbound.
Manhattan needs to change some sort of look offensively because they've really just not be able to get isolation.
It goes into Banks. She clanks it against the bottom of the rim.
They hadn't been able to get any isolation until there when both of the people on the block ran out to the baseline, clearing a lot of space in the center of the court.
Oh. Off the fingertips of Ingram. So it's East ball.
The same situation there. A lot of space open in the middle, just cutters that went to the baseline. Manhattan needs to do that a lot more. They've gotten 2 back-to-back open looks, just cutting people to the baseline.
35 seconds in quarter one. That high shot misses, but that one goes in. That's Maya Respis, this 6-foot-tall freshman. Oh, broken up there. Davis has an and one opportunity. Davis snatched it up, sent it to the other side of the court, and now is fouled after making the 2.
There's that defensive instinct again from Jada Davis. She averages over 4 steals a game, and she just read that pass like a veteran, even though she's just a freshman. The way she plays, it looks like she's got a lot of reps, but it's really just instinct that's taken over.
East is now up by 3, 16.9 remaining in quarter one.
Wichita East has been in a soft 1-3-1 zone all night. It hasn't really troubled Manhattan in these last few minutes.
Larson has it. Over to Ingram. And the corner shot hits the jackpot right through the net. And to end the first quarter, how well timed was that shot?
Exactly what you want. Late quarter situation. Wide open shot and beautiful. Drains it. Tie ball game going into the second quarter. What do you think defensively these teams are going to have to change to try to limit open looks like that it just happened there?
I think the biggest problem for these defenses are how much fouling has happened when a player has driven with the ball into the paint.
Yeah,
so,
for me, it's just sitting in those gaps. We've seen one time, I believe it was Bailey Bush that sat in that gap and waited for them to come into you, stayed in your defensive area to be in that space, to just have your body there, make sure they don't have a wide open layup so you don't have to reach with your hands, so you have your body in front. That's exactly what both of these teams need to do, as well as having good weak side defensive discipline.
So Ivanth, we're in this second round of sub-state here, and now we're about to start the second quarter of play. Like we said at the top of the show, both of these teams are 19-5 and are on a 4-game win streak. And Ivanth, the only reason why this game is at Manhattan instead of Wichita is because of a coin flip won by MHS Athletic Director Michael Marsh. And because of that, we can call this game Ivanth, and these MHS fans can support their team from the North Gym instead of 2 hours away in Wichita.
Yeah, it's always great when both your boys and girls basketball teams both host the sub-state rounds, and Mike Marsh with some good predicting on those coin tosses makes it a more enjoyable experience for this Manhattan squad.
Ball gets it taken from her, swiped. On the other end, there's a bucket. Davis puts East up 18-13. We're just 30 seconds into the second quarter. And from the ground, Cat Ball on the floor scores for MHS. How about that?
Some Harlem Globetrotters-esque play right there on the ground, hustle play. Throw it up and it goes in, beautiful from Cat Ball.
Deep from the corner, that's a glitter bomb straight through the net.
Yeah, there may be some soggy cereal in here because that was a splash from the freshman Jada Davis.
On the other end, an even bigger splash by Larson.
Some big shots by both teams here on the outside, and the crowd is alive in the Little Apple.
MHS side not happy, but the ref has signaled that Rest Press is going to get some shots from the line.
Yeah, I don't agree with that call. Jordan Hall was completely straight up on that play, and she was moving her feet. At most, that can only be a foul on the ground because of how early it was called. The motion of the shooting was only after the play, so I still don't see how this is a shooting foul for Wichita East.
.6:10 left in the second quarter. Bush knocked to the ground, misses the shot, but draws a foul and is now back in its familiar place for her. She's 5 for 6. Bush is 5 for 6 already on free throws today. And back at it now, 6 for 7.
Manhattan has been a pretty decent free throw shooting team all year. And so far tonight, they've been 8 for 10 from the strike. And they're going to have to keep that up.
Oh, right on the money for Lewis.
Talia Lucas, again, that three-point shooter, but she can also knock down some mid-range shots. She has 35 made three-pointers this season, which leads the team.
Lucas gets her hands in there. So Lucas gets called for the foul. Just the second team foul, though, for Wichita East today. Indians have fouled East a lot more than East has fouled them. But that can't be, because Bush has been fouled so much. Speaking of Bush, gets her first non-free throw points this game. And how many does she have now?
That's 8 for Bailey Bush. Leads the team tonight. Cat Ball has 4. And Avery Ingram with her 3.
13 foul. The line shooting one.
Bush can't get the extra point on that and one opportunity, and it'll be East's ball.
That's her first 13 foul for the
Good call from the refs. It was just a good box out by Wichita East overall. She went up in the lane other than waiting for Evie Banks to make that contact, and that's just great fundamentals from Wichita East to draw the foul.
In the paint now. Oh, missed transfer in the lane. Jump ball in favor of the Indians. So MHS won their first league title since the 17 to 18 season. This year, they were 8-2 in league play. In the paint, missed shot. Larson has it for the Indians. Over to Bush. Beckett goes in and scores. A bucket for Beckett makes the score 25-23. Indians down by just 2 now.
The crowd is back in it. Defense has some energy more than ever tonight.
Shot from mid-range, hits the side of the rim in the backboard. Oh man, Indians ball. The Indians just down by 2 points. They can tie it or take the lead on this possession.
Yeah, Wichita East has dropped out of that 1-3-1 full court press. They're switching to man, I believe, now. And just trying to throw a little bit of different looks to this Manhattan offensive squad. But it looks like it hasn't really slowed them down.
Larson lets it fly. No good. East ball. .345 in the half. Loser goes home. in this game. Oh, and the shot in the paint is a bingo.
Sylvia Selman, the 5'4" senior shooting guard, just had better position than Evie Banks on that play, and is fortunate to fall right in her hands. But that's why in basketball you're always taught when a shot goes up, especially when you're on defense, to gain that inner position to try to get a better box out angle. And Evie Banks wasn't able to do that, giving a quick and easy 2 points for Wichita-East.
All right, what's being said on this huddle for East? If you had to guess, Ivan.
It looks like he's just talking about transition. There's been a few lazy transition turnovers, and overall, the guards have just been standing on the perimeter and not going for rebounds. I think he was talking about that because he looked very disappointed every time Manhattan got an offensive rebound.
Beckett, Bush, Banks, Ball, and Larson on the court for the Indians. 3:18 left in the first half. Banks has it, coming off 2 back-to-back 16-point scoring games, and she's fouled as she was in Main Street and now gets the chance to score her first bucket of the game here from the line.
Yeah, that was a great drawn-up call. They had 2 people in the high post and then set an elevator screen for Evie Banks, who curled around and got isolation around the left elbow area.
Last game, Banks set the single-season program record for threes in a season, passing Christy Carr, who played college ball, first at K-State, later Syracuse. And Banks just thought it was really cool about passing Carr for that record. And Banks, speaking of the devil, gets that steal, but now an immediate steal on the end for East. Larson is called for her first foul of the game.
Turning to the Indians, number 12, Avery Ingram.
Avery Ingram enters. 2:53 on the clock.
Yeah, if I'm Wichita East, I would go back into that 1-3-1 press because it was disrupting this Manhattan team just a little bit to the point where they couldn't get comfortably into their offensive sets.
4-point lead for East. Larson has it. She makes her move, spins, gets it knocked out. East comes away with it. Travel on Wichita.
That is Wichita East's 5th turnover of the game. Compared to Manhattan's 9 turnovers, there's a little bit of a turnover margin in the favor for the Wichita East players. And that's just going to really be the difference in close games like this. 4 points can easily
Ball
be
from
decided.
downtown misses. .207 in the half. Larson comes away with it. She's rebounded well, Ivan.
Yeah, just gaining position on the offensive player. That's just standing out there.
A miscommunication. The pass was to Banks, but their wavelength did not meet.
In that situation, if I'm Delaney Larson, just take it to the rim. You have a path, you have it open. There's no need to be unselfish there. Take it and get those 2 points.
After last game against Free State, the biggest point of improvement that I heard from both Larson and Banks was communicating, and we've seen some communication struggles for MHS today. 134 in the half, and a made shot there for Galbert, the 5'4" senior. 120. Galbert comes away with it on the defensive end. And Larson has her second foul of the game.
15 foul. The line for the Blue Aces, Galbert.
Yeah, Larson's going to have to be careful. With the minute 16 left in the second quarter, one thing you do not want to do is pick up that third foul, because that can really hurt this Manhattan offense, since she's a key part of creating and being that facilitator on the offensive side of the court.
After Larson's second foul, she comes out, and Bailey Bush, who also has 2 fouls in this game, comes in for MHS. Bailey Bush has scored really well, so having her on the floor does help offensively. Into Beckett, and Beckett is right on the money.
Also on 10, Selman, that's her first personal. 15 foul for the Blue Aces. That's the line for the Indians. Beckett.
If you're Sylvia Simmons in that situation, there's no need to be overambitious and just swipe your hand after they shoot the ball. That's just unforced
Beckett
error.
misses the and one shot. Under a minute left in the first half. Deep shot misses. Banks, D rebound. Ball Banks, Bush, Beckett, and Ingram on the floor for MHS with 45 seconds left in the half. Ball swerves around, and Beckett has a gimme in the paint. She was unaccounted for. 30 left in the half. 1 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
About half a second difference between shot clock and game clock. So pretty much Wichita-East will hold for the final shot.
5 seconds left in the half and 2 on the shot clock. The Indians get the ball with 2.1 seconds left in the half.
Number 14, Amaya Gates. And for the Indians, number 5, Jordan Hall.
Jordan Hall comes in the game, and I fully expect Hall to get this shot. She is the thrower in track, and in practice, Coach Mall says she wins the drill of last-second shots 50% of the time.
Yeah,
So-
multi-sport athlete can always help you.
And Hall will get the ball. Last-second shot, it's an air ball, and that ends the first half of this sub-state finals. Iovanth on the Indians' end, what do they need to do better to catch up with this 4-point deficit?
Yeah, they need to really spread out the paint for Evie Banks. They ran one elevator screen for this entire game, and she got fouled on that play. So they're going to need to really isolate and create space in the middle of the paint a lot more in the second half.
Lane Lewis and Iovanth Natarajan, we'll see you in the second half with this score right now being 32-28. So, I'm thinking. Hey, thanks for helping us with the table. Oh, I don't know what happened. How's it up here, though? Lucas is just saying everybody's points at the beginning of the half. All right, Iobonth. According to the clock, there's less than a minute until we start this second half, so there will basically be just 16 more minutes of game time until we see which one of these two teams goes to state.
Bailey Bush in that first half had 7 points. One 2-2 press, which they usually play.
Oh, and a pluck by Ball in pursuit and fouled. And I hope she's okay. She'll get helped up by Bush and pace over to the line. Cat Ball sinks the first one, Iobonth. And the McDonald's All-American nominee makes the second as well.
Cat Ball, the facilitator of this Manhattan offense, she also brings a lot of energy on that defensive side.
5:10 left in the third quarter. And on the other end, we got a shot through and a timeout for Wichita-East. We've seen a renewed energy from MHS, definitely at the start of this quarter. But now a pretty even ground, 1 point lead for MHS.
Manhattan needs to stay confident on the defensive side of the floor after they go on a big run. They just went on a 6-0 run. You can't afford to give Wichita-East a wide open shot. Anybody on both of these rosters can pull the trigger on a wide open shot like that. In the sub-state championship level, you cannot afford to have lazy closeouts.
By the way, how about the K-State women's basketball team, Iobonth? You know what they did today?
They won by 1 point. and are moving on to the semifinals of the Big 12 Championship. They were winning by 3 points with about 15 seconds left in that game, and then they turned it over on a jump ball, giving Oklahoma State a chance to convert on a three, in which they did. But when Kansas State inbounded the ball, Oklahoma State fouled them, and Kansas State was in the bonus, giving them a chance for Tess Hill to make a free throw, and she made one of the free throws to win the game.
And we have a game right here that could have a similar ending, who knows? Definitely by a smaller score here, as it's 36-35, under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Ball has it, pass to Banks, into Yelena, skips off the rim.
Good transition defense by Manhattan. Nobody watched the ball as it went into the net. They all put their heads down. First 3 steps, got back on defense, covered the rim beautifully.
Shot is a brick, but a rebound, and Lucas shoots another brick. 2 air balls in the matter of seconds for the East. So Larson's going to get to inbound it here.
Watch Kat ball here. She's a multi-sport champion who understands high-pressure moments, and she's not going to let the game get away from the Indians, so just watch her facilitate on this possession.
Yeah, Ball has college offers in all 3 sports, basketball, golf, as Larson's blocked. Yeah, like I was saying, Kat Ball with offers in basketball, golf, which she's a 2-time state champion in, as well as softball. She's a dynamic athlete, but honestly an even better person.
Delaney Washington's going to have to be careful. That's her 3rd foul. And as one of the best guards on this team, you do not want to get in foul trouble early in the third quarter.
Ingram comes in for Larson. 4:03. It's a tied game now, and that changes it as East pulls ahead by 1. 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Back into the 1-3-1 for Wichita East.
Oh, Bush digs deep and scores for the Indians. Celebration to be had, Iovanov.
If there's one player that has the most energy on this Manhattan team, it's Bailey Bush. Right when she stepped on the court, she was making plays and back-to-back plays. A beautiful finish and then a deflected pass. That's everything you need for momentum in the sub-state championship.
Oh, deflected by Bush. East able to retain possession. A little bit of a tie-up. And now a swoosh way downtown. That was Sylvia Selman.
That was a little bit of an unorthodox possession from Wichita East, but luck can always go your way.
Off the foot of Bush. Oh. Selman runs out of space.
That's great defensive principles by Kat Ball. In transition defense situations, if you're ahead of the person in transition, you always want to go for a little swipe through like she did.
.302 left in the third. Shot from deep. Oh, it's dynamite from distance. Wow. What a spark. And East is up by 5.
Another poor closeout. I've said it 20 times today already.
Another steal. And it's a gimme for number 14, Cates. 7-point lead now for East. Likely the biggest lead of the game. But Ball has a response. The senior, Kat Ball, who has been on varsity all 4 years of high school. She was the six-man freshman year and a starter the past 3 years. She has an and one opportunity to get through the old-fashioned way, and she does just that.
That was a high IQ basketball play. She was overplayed so much, so she did a back cut for an and one.
Banks pops it. Oh! Bravo Ball! Oh my goodness. Wow. There's a reason why Banks is the single season leader as a sophomore in threes.
Basketball is a game of runs and momentum, and you can sure feel it here in the Little Apple.
All right, it goes over to Ingram, now to Yelena. Yelena has the ball, get just enough English to spin through the hoop.
That was a smart play from Jada Davis, the freshman. Manhattan, they can't do anything about that. They both went straight up. But Davis just leaned into the players, just a high IQ play to get to the free throw line.
And there's a made free throw by Jada Davis. Delaney Larson now in for Kat Ball after Kat Ball provided the spark that has got the score to tied at 46. You know, really pretty crazy. The Indians were down by 7, blink of an eye. Great plays by Ball and a three-pointer by Banks. And now it's just a 1-point lead after that free throw made.
And don't forget, that was all sparked by Bailey Bush's energy on the defensive side.
East gets it.
And that's Delaney Larson's 4th foul in the 3rd quarter. That's absolutely huge for Manhattan.
Turning for the Indians, number 15, Bailey Bush.
Bailey Bush comes back in, a short time in for Larson.
Yeah, there was no need to gamble on that man press with 50 seconds left, especially when you have 3 fouls and you cannot afford to pick up a 4th in this big of a playoff game.
40 seconds in the 3rd quarter. 35 now. Corner shot, pops it up. Ingram takes it away. 27 seconds into the 3rd quarter. Bush recovers. Beckett into Deperdois. Oh, the bank shot's no good. She's fouled on the play.
Yelena Deperdois is just one of the most physical and heartbeat of this Manhattan team. If you want to play that's going to give you energy at all times, she is your player.
Deperdois, believe it or not, only has 2 points so far this game, but she can double that with if she makes both of these shots, but no, misses the first. This shot, if she makes it, can tie the game up at 47. Cat Ball enters in place of Evie Banks. Missed shot. Indians still trail by 1. Bush rebound. Ball has it. Now over to Ingram. Ball with 5 seconds left in the half. East takeaway. 3 seconds in the 3rd quarter, sorry. 1 second. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Tylee Lucas, the sharpshooter for this Wichita-East team, hasn't really shot the wall very well tonight, but she sure has some good fundamentals on that drive with a beautiful shot fake and finish going into the fourth quarter.
You know, Wichita-East is the biggest school student enrollment-wise in the whole state of Kansas, and they're showing that with the amount of talent they have on this team. Wichita-East has close to 2,500 in their student body, while MHS started the year out with 2,013.
The big question tonight was going to be if the freshmen, this youth of this Wichita-East team, could handle an away playoff games environment. And so far in these first three quarters, they've really shown that they can handle it and they can really influence the pace of the game.
All right. The final 8 is about to get underway to decide who goes to the state tournament and who goes nowhere, as the losers season will be over. 3-point lead by East. Wide open, Lucas, the freshman phenom, has her shot, goes straight through. Lucas, actually a sophomore this year, but still
She
a
leads
young
the team
underclassman.
with 35 three-pointers. She hadn't shot the ball well today. Ooh. Cat ball nearly answers and then gets another steal.
Bush has it. It'll be a travel on Bush. Definitely an extra step there, Ivan.
Cat ball leads the team in steals tonight with 3. And she's just been a spark. But they're really going to need her with this 6-point deficit right now.
Yeah, ball's on the floor right now, along with Ingram, Jordan-Hall, Beckett, and Bailey Bush. 7 remaining in the game. Indians trail by 6, but we know that can change quick. Suffocating defense, now an open shot, and it is taken advantage by the senior Galbert.
Manhattan's going to really try to pick and roll with Jordan Hall a lot, trying to open up the middle of the paint for her to go to work.
Drive in by Bush. This time she's not fouled. And it'll be East ball. So there's actually a foul on Beckett. And you see that adjustment from East. The past few times that Bush has tried to drive in, she's been fouled. But that time, you know, East can really hold their hands back and say no foul. Oh! Evie Banks just picked her pocket. Lucas got it stolen from her.
Ooh, they had a good look in the paint there.
Ball gets rejected. Oh, too far for Lucas. Out of bounds, Indians ball.
Just 2 unforced turnovers back-to-back by both teams. They both just need to mentally reset on this next possession and just settle into their offense. 5 minutes left in the sub-state game, but you still have to keep your mental calm.
Indians are trailing by 8. That's a pretty decent deficit here, but there is just under 6 minutes left in the game. .5:43 now, and Evie Banks gets the Indians points when they need it.
That was a great set from Manhattan, a pick and roll, and then Evie Banks just did a quick slip curl at the elbow spot to get a wide open layup.
5:26 in the game. Lucas, oh, nails it.
Timeout, Wichita-East, 30 seconds, timeout.
A 9-point deficit. The Indians got to be talking like this could be the end of their season. There's plenty of time, certainly, to catch up. But if they let East get even more of a lead, the window could start to close.
In the defensive side, when you're on that help side, you have to know that you're guarding a shooter in Tylee Lucas. That's her second three of the game, I believe. You have to make sure you have that space. You can cover that space if they throw a skip pass to her. So they really are going to have to stay active in those defensive gaps if they're going to want to come back from this 9-point lead.
.5:10 left in the game. Steal for East. Oh, can't quite spin into the rim. But East remains with the rock.
Number 4, that's first personal, second team foul.
So let's look at the foul situation for MHS.
Delaney Larson with 4 fouls. When do you think they'll sub her in? You never know. But Helena Dibiswa has 3 now with another Manhattan Indian in foul trouble.
That must have been kind of a gut punch there for the Indians.
Also 15 Bush,
As
third personal, 13 foul.
number 14, Cates, will have a chance to finish the and one sequence here.
That's Bailey Bush's 3rd foul as well. So now 2 players with 3.
Misses the shot. Indians trail by 11 with under 5 minutes in this sub-state finals game. And it's out on the Indians. The ball goes the other way.
Indians number 1, Delaney Larson.
And Larson, who already has 4 fouls to her name, will come in the game.
At this point, you have nothing to lose. Down 11, 4-4-4, left in the 4th. You're going to have to play with your heart, and Delaney Larson's one of the best players to do that.
Oh, man. Could have had something there, but East able to get the possession back. Pops it from deep. Oh, that swooshes in. The Indians need to patch up their wound right now. Banks misses it. Depuzois able to get some last pretty desperate points there. 12-point lead for East. Deep shot off the mark. Second chance is also a miss. Third chance is a miss. Now a 4th chance could come if East is able to pop it, but they'll decide to try to waste away the clock. 3:38. What violation happened?
A 5-second violation.
Timeout, Manhattan.
She in the backcourt, dribbling for more than 5 seconds. She's a freshman at the varsity level. You're going to have to learn from that in the future.
All right. The Indians kind of have their back against the wall here. They're down 12. The score is 62-50. What do they do? Who do they have on the court, maybe, is the better question.
We know they're most likely going to keep Delaney Larson on the court. But they're really going to need Larson, Cat Ball, and Evie Banks, all those people, as well as producing on the offensive side, to produce on the defensive side. And we know how Wichita-East wasn't very much of a threat in transition. They've really been sitting in the corner like an Among Us character this entire game. That's how they've been able to get so many open looks.
Larson, Banks, Bush, Depuzois, and Ball are on the court for the Indians, who have the rock Pass
Looks
over
like
to
a missed
Larson.
backcourt call.
And Ball makes the layup.
Kurt Larson.
Intercepted by Larson. Poor pass by East. She banks it through. Larson has 5 points tonight and is in the game even though she has 4 fouls called on her. It'll stay with East.
And I think Manhattan should have stayed in that 1-2-2 press a lot longer. It's been disrupting Wichita-East so much, I really wasn't sure why they got out of it that early in the game.
Exactly 3 minutes left in the game. 8-point lead for East. Oh, another pickpocket play. Ball takes it across, and a steal by Wichita. So many steals in this one. Deep shot pops up. Ball gets her hands on it for the Indians. Banks pushes forward, misses the shot. East ball under 2:30 in the game.
This is one of the biggest possessions. They're going to have to get a stop early, and they'll decide to foul.
Also, 13 ball. Second personal. 14 foul.
That was their last foul to give, and Wichita-East will be shooting free throws in the next foul.
2:21 in the game. And for one of these teams, 2:21 in the season. It's a 10-point lead now for East.
East showing the youth, freshman to sophomore to freshman for the finish, making a 10-point lead.
Bush lets it fly, rolls off the rim. Man, under 2 minutes. 10-point lead for East. Lucas, the sophomore. Man, are the Indians bracing to have a sub-state finals exit here? 1:30 left in the game. 13-point lead for East. East gets the ball, and Bush swoops in for the foul. It's 67-54 with 1:19 in the ball game, and East is pretty happy. There's a lot of jubilation on their side as they celebrate the score.
Yeah, the freshmen showing that they're freshmen, celebrating that 67-54 score on the board.
Buries the shot, and it's looking bleak for MHS. The Blues go up. Banks misses the shot, gets her own rebound, in pursuit, desperate for anything she can get, and a foul is what she comes away with. With 1:07 left, the Blue Aces are up by 15.
Yeah, good recognition from Evie Banks to crash the boards right after she knew that shot was off. That's exactly what you need to do with a minute left. Try to stop the clock as much as you can.
Both shots sail through for Banks. 1:06. Banks gets it back. Oh, it'll be a jump ball. And the possession arrow stays with the Indians. So with 1 minute and 2 seconds left in the second round of sub-state. MHS has it, down 13. They can't miss a single shot, is what I see here.
Yeah, this is Evie Banks' time. Three-point shooting, one of the most powerful shots in the game. And basketball is a game of runs.
Larson has it with under a minute. Depuzois gets points. And Ball picks up the foul. What's going on, Ivan?
It looks like it's going to be Manhattan basketball. I think it was either a travel or some sort of off-ball foul I wasn't able to see from our angle
MHS
up here.
catches the break. 45 seconds in the game. Ball from three. Needed the shot to fall, but it doesn't. 38.2 is what the clock stops at, with now a Depuzois foul. It's 4 fouls on the day for Depuzois. And it will be Galbert who goes to the line for the Traveling Blues.
Yeah, Galbert is that veteran anchor. Her 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio is exactly what you need to make runs in these sub-state games. And it's really helped tonight.
An emotional moment for Delaney Larson, the senior who comes out of the game for the Indians. Gets a standing ovation for much of the Indians crowd as Tess Henry enters the ball game. 35 seconds. A steal for the Traveling Blues. 29.8 seconds. Traveling Blues will still have the ball. And Rest Press is going to get to shoot. But Ivan, it looks like it'll be the end. 71-58. And now Kat Ball exits the game. What an amazing career on this Manhattan Indians basketball team she's had. She became the all-time steals leader very recently and has just poured, just like Larson has poured her heart and soul into this team for the last 4 years. 17 seconds left in the game. Tess Henry, the senior, has the ball, drives, nearly has the basket. The clock stops at 6.2 seconds. And in addition to that, the Indians also won league this year. They won a share of league with Topeka High, and it's the first time they've done that since the 2017 to 2018 season, so certainly a season to remember. And not to mention Evie Banks the other night. And that'll wrap up the Manhattan Indians girls basketball season. What a great one it was, Ivan.
Yeah, a league title. One of the most successful seasons for this Manhattan High School team, and they should be proud of themselves. It was a really tough game tonight. Wichita-East, they knocked down a lot of three-pointers. But overall, just another great season for this Manhattan team, and it will be one in the history books.
All right. So the Blue Aces, they now get to go on to the state tournament. But once again, one last shout out to the seniors at MHS. Delaney Larson, Kat Ball, Joran Hall, and Tess Henry with a program-defining impact and a great season for the juniors and sophomores as well, as the Blue Aces will get the chance to enjoy this one. But that'll do it. This Indians team was one of the most close-knit clubs that we've seen, Ivanov.
Cat ball today on that Manhattan side. It's the player of the game for me, 5 steals. And as you said before, I believe the leading steals.
Leader in program history over her career, yes. All right, that'll do it here on the MHS Student Media YouTube channel. Lane Lewison, Ivan Thanarajan, and this will be the end of the season for the girls team.